Assalamu alaikum students. This is Muhammad Ismail, your business teacher. I hope you will be doing fine and enjoying good state of health and getting ready for your exams, or particularly rather than to say exams, particularly this ongoing online sessions and trying to improve and keep apace with what we have already done. Okay, we did question number 1 and 2. Today, as per our discussion in the last session, we will be concentrating on question number 3, which is about or which is based on the data in Appendix C to construct a network diagram for the Safari Lodge project showing all earliest start times and latest finish times. So to go for that, let me go straight to the answer. Here, this is the answer for question 3, part A. Whenever we start, so at the start time, we started with 0, 0. And then because activity A, B, and C all were starting at the same time, activity D is dependent on A and B, E is dependent on D, whereas F, G, H is dependent on E, I is dependent on the completion of F, G, H. And there is no discussion for C, so it means C and I both are ending at the same time. Okay, so we move when we are going for earlier start time, so we move with 0. So we put 0 in the activity 1 and then 0 plus 3. Why? Because 3 is more than 2. So 3 plus 3, 6. And then 6 plus 5, 11. And then F is 2, G is 4, H is 3. So which one is higher? G, 4. So 11 plus 4, 15. Now, if we look at C, it is 8 and 0 plus 8, 8. So it means 15 plus 1 will be 16. Moving back, 16 minus 1, 15. 15 minus 4, 11. 11 minus 5, 6. And 6 minus 3, 3. And 3 minus 2, 0. So it means critical activities are B, D, E, G, I. So this is the answer for 3A. Now, 3B. If activity B is delayed for 2 weeks, briefly advise Tanro on what steps he could take to avoid the project taking longer than 16 weeks. Here, we will respond like this, that critical path will increase by 1 week to 17. Why? Because this activity B is falling on the critical path. To avoid the delay of 1 week, Conroe will have to utilize float times by reducing 1 week time of subsequent critical activities. Why? Because these are only the critical activities which will influence the project completion and the project completion time as well. It's possible through employing spare resources. Full stop. This was question number 3 for 14 marks. Now we will move for question number 5. Here they ask you to calculate the annual average rate of return. Now to find the average rate of return, we need to know the formula first. But keep in mind, only formula will not give you any mark until it is not followed by certain calculations. ARR, accounting rate of return or annual rate of return, is equal to average profit divided by initial investment multiplied by 100. Now, to find average profit, we need to calculate total inflows minus initial investment. This will give us total profit. Now we will divide this total profit by 4 years. Why? Because 4 years is the economic life. And total inflows were 64,000. Initial investment is 30,000. So 64,000 minus 30,000 divided by 4 is equal to 8,500. Now 8,500 is basically your average profit. Now ARR is equal to 8,500 over 30,000 multiplied by 100 is equal to 28.33%. Then the net present value at a discount rate of 10%. Okay, we know years 1, 2, 3. We have been given the cash inflows or the cash flows 5,000, 15,000, 20,000, 24,000. We have the discounting factor on the basis of 10%. For year 1, it is 0.91. For year 2, it is 0.83. For year 3, it is 0.75. And for year 4, it is 0.68. Now discounted cash flow. Now cash flow column we will multiply with discounting factor. It will give us discounted cash flow. And when you will do that exercise, you will find out that 5,000 multiplied by 0.91 will be 4,550. 15,000 times 0.83 will give us 12,450, and 20,000 times 0.75 will give us 15,000, whereas 24,000 times 0.68 will give us 16,320. Now to find net present value, we need to know the total discounted cash flow and the initial cost or cost. So the formula for NPV is total discounted cash flow minus cost. Total discounted cash flow is 48,320 minus 30,000, which is equal to 18,320. These were the two calculations which we were supposed to find, but now using your result from 5A and other information, we are supposed to recommend to Tanro which of the two options he should choose, and we need to justify our answer. Okay. The recommendation to Tenro for choosing either of the options require financial surgery of available data through appendices A and B. Both options have positive net present values, but option B has significantly higher net present value, which is 18,320, whereas for the first one it was 11,700. Payback period for option A is smaller, 2 years, than B, which is 2.5 years. But B has 50% higher capital cost, that is 30,000. ARR for B is slightly higher than A, but net present value for B is 56% higher than A. You can show the calculation that NPV for B is 18,320 minus 11,700 divided by 11,700 multiplied by 100, it will give you 56%. Now, Y is importing country while X is exporting. By looking at Appendix A, unemployment rising through 2008 to 2010 from 7 to 9%, 1% every year. That is, wage rate might be lower or falling, but interest rate is rising, which means there is tight monetary policy in country X. And this tight monetary policy might crowd out. Now, what is crowd out? When the interest rate is higher, the private firms can't afford to borrow, and the government can. That is why the private firms are forced out of the business, which is called crowding out. Then, increase in the cost of doing business, I mean, when interest rate will go up, definitely business doing will become expensive, production costs will increase, and fall in demand due to increase in opportunity cost of spending. Because whenever interest rate goes up, ultimately people will prefer to save more rather than to spend. Appreciation rate has declined to 2% in 2010. That is cheaper imports but expensive exports. Now, Tanro is looking forward towards diversification. That is, we need to bring in ends of metrics as Tanro is targeting Y market or country-wise market with a new product of vegetable, which is also called market development or product development. That is, introducing new product of tourism in country X, mean existing market. There is a question: can banks afford to fund option B as it has 50% higher financing needs? We can conclude it like this, that Tanro can opt for option B, or we can recommend option B for Tanro, as it will allow him to diversify. That is, diversified product portfolio will enable him to have more business opportunities and get more stronger. This will be decisive factor for banks as well. Reduction in wage will reduce cost of production. Employees will get the chance of job rotation to seek personal growth, which is motivating factor under Herzberg's two-factor theory. The financing can be convinced on 56% higher NPV and 3.33% higher ARR and high cash flows with longer payback period, that is reduction in reinvestment risk of the financer. So students, with this, your question number 3 and 5 are over. In the light of this discussion, you are supposed to prepare or script your answers while adding your own reading knowledge, and you have around 2 days time to respond back, because being A level students, you are to go for AS as well, particularly those who are going for the resit or who are going for the composite, who are not carrying forward their last AS results. So good luck. Until next time, thank you very much. I will come up now. We will go for paper paper 3 of mock 2. Oh, sorry, we still have the strategic management section. So the strategic management section we will have with the gap of 1 to 2 days. So until next time, goodbye.